Hello Coding Club, this is Kevin He. At the end of our last meeting you guys were asking for how to download the Python and Pycharm IDE, so I'll quickly walk through that with you guys. First of all though, if you guys are on your school laptops and you can't download Python or Pycharm, you can use Replit, which you can just Google Replit and just choose the Python. And now you have an online IDE that's accessible through the laptops. You can do pretty much all of our coding here. It's just not as nice as coding on our own IDE. And you can press run, and there's a run here. Alright, to install Python, you just need to Google it, Python. Go to the downloads page, and just download the most recent Python 3.8.5. Should be right there. I'll include links for all these resources underneath this video in our website and also in the description of the YouTube video which this will be part of. So it'll download and install. You just need to click on it, and then you can just do install now. You can add Python 3.8 to path. Install now. It'll take a little while. Alright, hey guys. For the IDE that we're using, that we're going to be downloading onto our laptops, we're going to be using Pycharm, which is a specific IDE that's specifically for Python programming. You guys can also use Visual Studio Code, that's a popular one. Eclipse, Sublime Text, those also work. But we're going to be using Pycharm just because it's really prevalently used in the whole Python developing scene. So you guys can just Google it, Google Pycharm, and then you click on the first link, and then you just go to download, and then we're going to choose the community edition. So you can just press download, and it's going to download an installer. It's going to take a little while. Alright, let's check on the Python. So the Python successfully installed. You just need to close this, and then there you go, you got Python on your machine. If you want to test it out, just search Python in the search bar, and now you can write Python code here. However, we're not going to be programming here. This is cumbersome, and we're going to use an IDE to write our code. So you can print hello world, and it'll print hello world. You can do some math here. 3 plus 5 is 8. Alright, let's see. So I already have the installer for Pycharm, so I'm gonna stop this, and then we'll go to the installer. And this is gonna take a little while to load. Next, here you can choose the install location. Just choose where you want the Pycharm IDE to go in your system, and press next. If you guys want to create a desktop shortcut, you can press check here. I'm not going to create one because I just used the search, so I don't really need it. But you can click this one, and you don't need to click any of the other checkboxes. Next, and you just press install. It'll take a little while to install, so I'll cut there. Alright guys, so it's almost done installing here. We're just gonna wait a couple of moments. There we go. And then you can press run Pycharm Community Edition. And here we go. You're not gonna see this. I have some other projects that I've had from the previous install, so they're here, but don't worry about that, you won't see that. So you just need to press new project, and then just choose where you want your project to go. I'm not going to put my project here. I have a specific folder in my documents for this, so 1 second while I find that. Alright, cool. Here we go. I found my folder. Now I'm going to name this project. We'll call it just hello world, and then we can just make it with the virtual environment, so you don't need to click anything here. You can unclick the create main.py welcome script. That's just going to create a welcome page when you create your new project, and it's going to create up a virtual environment, which takes just a moment. Alright guys, I've just waited for the virtual environment to get set up, and it seems all good now. So I'll show you guys how to set up the interpreter, which you'll have to do for the IDE to actually run the Python. So you just go to File, Settings, and then go down to Project, Python Interpreter, and then as you can see, it's going to find the Python 3.8 that we downloaded before, and then it'll select that as the default. It should select that as the default. If not, just click down and you should be able to find the one, but we're going to use Python 3.8. It's perfectly good. I'll press OK, and we have our interpreter set up. So now we can make a new Python file. So you can just click here, new Python file, and we can name the Python file just something like my first program. Enter. And 1 second while I figure out how to zoom in. Zoom set up so you can actually see what I'm writing, so I'm just going to zoom in here. And now that we've set up the interpreter, we've downloaded Python first, and then we set up the interpreter, and we've set up NetBeans. Now we can write our first program. So we can just do print a function, so it needs parentheses, and then just print a string. So the first thing that all programmers do is print hello world. So we'll do the same. And the first time you're going to run something, you just want to right click and run my first program. And there you go. It'll show you, it'll print it out into the console, so you can see there hello world. If you're going to make a new program, sorry, a new file, just go there, new file, and you can call your file whatever you want. So we'll call it second file. And then zoom in here also. We'll print something else. Hello second program. And now if you want to run this one, you can, after the first time you right click and run, for say the first program, you should be able to just click up here and run this one. You can see hello world will run down here. This green button will also run it, so you don't have to right click and run my first program each time. You should be able to just click down here. However, if we go to second file and we try to run this, it's going to say hello world again, except we wrote print hello second program. So what this is doing is it's running, this configuration is running the first file over here. So if we want to run the second file, all we have to do is just run second file, right click, run second file, and then there you go, it says hello second program. So now if you want to run second program, you can just press the green button, or this green button down here, this also works. And when you're switching back to my first program, if you look up here, it says second file still, so you just need to click down and click my first program, and then there you go, back to hello world. Or you can just say you're switching, you can always just do run second file, that'll always work it. Right click, run second my first program, that always works. Alright, that's it for this tutorial. We downloaded Python, we got the Replit Online IDE if you're on your school laptops, and we downloaded Pycharm and wrote our first program. So there you go, you guys are all set up for all the other cool stuff that we're going to do for the rest of the year. Bye bye.